Welcome again to Joe Steiner Boxing. Oscar Valdez gets a pretty good win over Liam Wilson of Australia. Seventh round stoppage. Wilson was never on the floor. He came close to it. He was stopped on his feet in the seventh round. He was buzzed. And Valdez let these, his usual wide hooks go and was landing a lot. A little bit premature, I thought the stoppage was. But there's no doubt Wilson was under fire. And Wilson fought the wrong fight. It's that simple. In the post-fight interview, he said, I let my heart get the better of me. Yeah, you did, mate. Because the first two rounds, Wilson was sort of box fighting. He won the first two rounds as far as I'm concerned. He landed the better punches. He punched first. He had last say in the exchanges. He wasn't hurting Valdez, but he deserved the first two rounds, I thought. And in the third round, by the way, I thought Valdez looked almost, I thought, is he getting old? Is he shot? Because he really wasn't doing anything. Well, I say that. I mean, he was firing punches, but he was second best. And he looked old. He looked old in those first two rounds. Well, in the third round, he got his engine running. And he started to, fire some very hard salvos. And he punched the body as well, which I thought was very good. But he didn't do enough of it. Because Wilson doesn't look like a fighter. He's a tough man, and he is very much a fighter. But he's got this rather schoolboyish look, and he's kind of a stand-up style. So the body's usually exposed, and I was thinking that Valdez should bang to the body consistently, but he didn't really. He was mostly headhunting. But there's no doubt that he was imposing his style, the style that he wanted the fight to be, onto Wilson. And Wilson played into that. He thought, okay, I'm gonna have a punch up with you, which was kind of very much the wrong thing to do. Now, I think it was the third round, Wilson's nose was bloodied. That should have been the warning sign. I'm going to get on my bike now and start boxing a little bit. Or go back to boxing, I should say. But he didn't do it. And there was this weird cameo, it might have been in the sixth round, where they literally were forehead to forehead, pressing each other's forehead. And by this point, Valdez was really in the swing of things, literally the swing of things. He was swinging in these huge hooks. And Wilson was trying to go with him. He was hooking with the hooker, and he was trying to have a good knockdown, drag him out punch up with a guy who physically looked stronger. I mean, I know Valdez is 33 now, and he's got quite a few miles on the clock by modern day standards anyway. Wilson's only had 16 fights, 13 wins with 7 KOs and the 3 defeats. All his defeats have now been by stoppage. He came very close to knocking out Emmanuel Navarrete back, it was last year, back in 2023, yeah. Just over a year ago. It was the early part of 2023 when he had Navarrete on the floor. I think it was in the fourth round, and Navarrete was in all sorts of trouble, and there was a very long count, and I think that might have played into something. Wilson did say, "I can't win a decision over here. I'm just going to have a good old fashioned punch up. I'm going to have to stop the guy." And he went there, but he admitted afterwards, that was the wrong tactic. And I let my heart rule my head. You did, mate. You did. But, I'll tell you what, you're going to sell some tickets because your style is exciting. And this is his second fight in 4 fights in the United States. Okay, he's lost them both by stoppage, but this guy can fight. He's not a bad gatekeeper type. As for Valdez, I mean, this was for the WBO interim world super-featherweight title. It's not WBO interim super-featherweight title. What's it? I'd hate all that crap. But so Valdez, can he win a real world title? Can he go on? I've got to be honest, he does look a bit past his best. I mean, by the end of the fight, even though he fell to the floor, in delight and probably some relief, he had a cut over the eye. There was blood coming out of the eye. And he didn't take any kind of beating in this fight, but he was hurt a few times, especially to the body, because Wilson himself was firing to the body, and he admitted afterwards, yeah, the guy buzzed me, the guy hurt me. And don't forget, Liam Wilson's only got 7 KOs in 13 wins against opposition that's nowhere near as good as Valdez. Valdez looks kind of old to me, a little bit old. He's got something left, but I'm not convinced he can take on the best super feathers in the world. Now that he's got this, silly interim belt, I guess people might come to him instead of him having to go to them. But I don't think so. I don't know. He's clearly past his best. As for Wilson, again, he could be a very good gatekeeper. He's a tough guy. He's the type of guy you could probably beat him, but you're going to have to work for it. If you're a world-class super feather. But yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, did you think it was a premature stoppage? Answer me that. Do you think Valdez can win a proper world title again? If so, who against? He's probably going to have to be managed very well. What about Wilson? Do you think he can come back? Do you think he's world-class, or is he sort of fringe, top 25 maybe or something? Top 20 maybe? You tell me. Tell me what you think. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. And spread the word about Joe's Ton of Boxing. Why not? Don't cost you anything, does it? Catch you later. Bye for now.